realized where I was and what had happened, and that I was crushed, trapped, and alone in a bus underneath a building. And I just thought, you know, this is not an acceptable situation. I was a little bit pissed off, I think it's fair to say, that it struck me as entirely predictable that a brick building would fall in an earthquake. It was also entirely predictable, even predicted, that there would be more earthquakes in Christchurch.
Going down to the CTV building later in the day and seeing it and seeing smoke still rising, it was quite surreal, the smoke rising from it, this great lift shaft building still standing and with waiting for it to fall down, and men and women still doing all they could to try and retrieve people or find people. And it was hours and hours, you know, and no sign of Brian particularly, but no sign of anybody much. It seemed they'd got out the people they could reach most easily earlier on, and nothing much was happening. And it was hard to leave the place not having found him or known whether he was alive or dead or anything about him. When the reports came out and people realised what an odd building it was. Anyway, most buildings have the lift shaft in the middle for a reason, and that is for added strength for the rest of the building radiating out from the centre. This one with the lift shaft at one end and long runs of concrete, each level attached to this bit at the end. It was a disaster waiting to happen, but
a police liaison person came over to us and said that she had some very bad news for us, that they were changing the status of the CTV site from a rescue operation to a recovery operation, meaning that they anticipated that there was no further people to be found alive. And that's the moment where it really sunk in for all three of us that Donna was likely gone. The kids fell apart, I did too. The next couple of years in particular, probably 2012, were the lowest. They were very much struggled in a fog, in a malaise. They don't remember much of those first couple of years. I have some vivid memories, but they don't really remember much at all. And then over time, slowly things just began to move forward and pick up. Grief is a very personal journey, a long journey, and recovery takes time. You just don't get over it in 5 minutes.